The war is coming to the surface. You are not going to win this.
Billions will die unless you help us.
Hey guys, Jonathan from Stub Reviews. Finally got my setup back because I'm on winter break. Finals went well if you were wondering, but who cares about that? I'm here to review the new DC Extended Universe movie, Aquaman. So Aquaman stars Jason Momoa, Amber Heard, Willem Dafoe, Patrick Wilson. Heck, even Nicole Kidman is in this movie. The cast is stacked, and it follows Aquaman as he's called upon to dethrone his evil brother Orm, played by Patrick Wilson, so he can save the seven seas, prevent, the ocean's army from going on land and destroying Earth. So essentially this movie is like a big road adventure where Jason Momoa and Amber Heard are basically just going from place to place trying to discover some artifact. From a script standpoint, it's very basic. I will say though that this movie is jam-packed with different subplots and characters. I was really concerned up until the first 30 minutes of the movie that it was just going to be a little bit too much, and they go, DC is known for, I guess, studio interference at this point. Not DC films are, because Warner Brothers just kind of goes in and apparently does whatever they want. Justice League. And you can tell that here this was not the case. James Wan literally packed as much as he could into this film. And to some that's going to be great, and to some that's going to be a pretty bad thing. Because this movie is unapologetic in everything it does. And it is over the top and cheesy and explosive and overproduced. And if you are about those things and you want a gigantic CGI fest that really doesn't have any depth as much as it's just a superhero movie with popcorn explosions that knows exactly what it is, then you are going to get what you want. However, if you're looking for something a little bit more character-driven, personally, maybe something more along the lines of Wonder Woman or Batman v Superman, the Ultimate Edition, then you may be disappointed with this film. So I really enjoyed the tonal shifts in the film. It really did feel like a $170 million Saturday morning cartoon. And all the characters were very over the top. Patrick Wilson yelled like 30 times in this movie. Every time he was making a declaration, he's like, "I am the master of the oceans!" Without the British accent, of course. I don't know why I did that, but you get what I mean. Another thing I really enjoyed, this film had some fantastic visuals from start to finish, some of the most impressive things I've seen in years. Although because the visual scope is so large, there are a few small things that don't look quite as convincing as maybe they could be sometimes. But that's just because the amount of visual effects in this movie are, there are thousands and thousands of shots, and you gotta prioritize your budget, so I understand that. Also, Jason Momoa, you killed it as Aquaman. I wasn't sure how I felt about you initially in Justice League. I wasn't sure if it was going to be more of like a my man approach, but Aquaman was a surprisingly well-rounded character. He's torn between, his human side on Earth and then his Atlantean side in the sea, and often that puts him at odds with both sides, and it's really interesting to see his character deal with that conflict. Also, Amber Heard, she was pretty good as Mara in the film. I wasn't really on board with her, seeing her in Justice League. Of course, she really didn't have anything to do. I think she maybe had like 5 lines in that movie in total. But I'm glad that she was fleshed out here, and she was fun, and she didn't feel like a damsel in distress. Willem Dafoe kills it as Falco. Also, I can't pronounce the actor's name, so I'm not going to try. But the guy who played Black Manta, amen, he was great in this film. He was very hammy. He went over the top with it, and honestly, that definitely fit someone in Black Manta's role. Also, this film has some spectacular action set pieces, whether it's hand-to-hand combat, massive army versus army battles. If you love action, it's got something for everybody. And the way that James Wan chooses to shoot action in this film, everything is in wide shots, you can tell what's going on, everything's beautifully choreographed. There is literally no shaky cam in the film, which is very much appreciated. There are a few drawbacks to Aquaman. I do think that the first half an hour, like the first 30 minutes, it might have been a little bit choppy, a little jarring sometimes. Also, the script wasn't the best. Some of the dialogue really fell flat. That being said, every single line of dialogue was said with conviction, like the actors were 100% on board with it. That doesn't help that it's a bad line, but it also kind of gives that 80s cheese factor, which I could tell James Wan, at least I think he was going for in a lot of scenes. So guys, Aquaman was insane. I think that it was the craziest movie I've seen this year. It's not the best DCEU movie in my opinion. However, I was never this entertained by any DCEU film before. So if I had to rank it out of the DCEU movies, it's probably, I want to say it's my number 3. Overall though, in terms of entertainment, I had more fun with this movie than any superhero movie period that I've seen in the last 5 years. So I'm going to go ahead and give Aquaman a 4 out of 5 stars. Definitely check this one out. You can. Make sure to see it in IMAX. It does make a difference. So guys, how'd you like the review? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Please let us know in the comments. You know, we kind of have our setup back, so that's kind of nice. At least we'll have it for a little bit, so I'll try to get as much content to you guys with this production value as possible. Right now I'm currently working on a short film that will be kind of involved with the canon we've set with our retrospective films. So stay tuned for some photos and little teasers for that. I'm Jonathan from Stub Reviews. Have an excellent day.